Drive Away Dolls. After crying last night, I'm hoping for a nice little comedy. Let's go. All right, let's talk about it. So that was Drive Away Dolls, directed by Ethan Coen of the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen. Stars Geraldine Viswanathan, Margaret Qualley, Coleman Domingo, Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal. So this movie is about two friends, Marion and Jamie, if I remember their names correctly, who take a trip to Tallahassee and they use a drive-away service where, I've never heard of this before, I guess it's like kind of like a car rental where you basically rent a car, but that car is intended to go to a certain destination. This just so happened that this car is intended to be in Tallahassee, so they drive this car, which they're supposed to drive it by a certain date and don't, and end up in the middle of this weird crime thing, and it's supposed to be a LGBT buddy comedy. So this movie is really short, not even an hour and a half, and thank God, because that was an absolute waste of my time. I love going to the movies. I go to the movies a lot. My record right now is 5 times within a 7-day period. This is my favorite thing to do. It's the only thing I really like to do outside the house that costs me any money. But I could think of at least 3 other things that would have been a better use of my time than watching this movie. That was offensively dumb. It was so stupid. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything be funny and not funny at the same time. It's like trying to tickle someone that's not ticklish. Now, I'm not opposed to raunchy comedy or comedy that just really just skydives over the edge of inappropriate. But this was so immature. Now, I saw a tweet earlier today. It's like, name an unnecessary sex scene. The first 5-10 minutes of this movie. Now, I imagine the target audience for this movie is the L of the LGB, so they might perceive this movie a bit differently. Just speaking for me, outside looking in, I'm really getting sick to death of seeing gay characters, whether they're LG or B, being just treated like pieces on a foosball table. I mean, we've progressed to regressing back to sitcom stereotypes. This movie makes lesbians look obnoxious, like feral middle school boys who can't control themselves. Never mind the god-awful so-called Texan accent coming out of Maggie Qualley's mouth. I mean, yeah, there are people in Texas who sound like that, but she just sounds fake. The way she talks, the words coming out of her mouth, sounds like someone who has never stepped foot inside of Texas. Their only exposure to Texas is whatever they've seen either on television or in the movies. Now, she was born in Montana, but her mama's from South Carolina, Gaffney, South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, just south of Charlotte. The Big Butt on I-85, that's where her mama's from. But they grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. Her little sister actually went to my alma mater when I was there. I think she was like a year younger than me. She was only there for like a semester or a year. So they're Southern. They grew up in the South. So I know she knows what a Southern accent sounds like. And the Texan accent and the Southern accent are a little bit different, but they're very close. They're basically cousins. There's no excuse for her to sound as bad as she did. My heart breaks for Coleman Domingo because he's trying to campaign for an Oscar with this farce of a movie in everybody's face. To the parents sitting there wondering, is this movie appropriate for my child? Spoiler alert, this movie is about dildos. I kid you not. The cinematography was okay. I like the color palette. Some cool tricks with the editing. Match cuts. You don't see that too often. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I could have watched Madam Web a second time and had more fun.